I'm going to tell you a couple of stories. One of them I know I've shared with people. The other one, I don't think I've shared with too many people. This is actually the second time doing this video. I did one version last night that was pretty raw. A lot more emotional than this one's going to be. Not that this isn't something you should get emotional about, or it is something you should get emotional about. You'll figure out my feelings on that. But it was just a little bit extra. So, for a long time, I've been able to watch certain videos, movies, TV shows because they show violence against women and children. The one that comes to mind most clearly is Troy, movie with Orlando Bloom, Brad Pitt, Trojan War. I think it was the early 2000s. I want to say 2008. I don't know. There's a scene when the Greek army finally gets in through the Trojan horse, starts sacking Troy, that soldiers are basically gang raping women, brutalizing people, killing everything in sight, including children. And since it's a very well done movie and a very well edited and very well acted movie and all that stuff, there's scenes where the soldiers are yanking the screaming, clearly meant to be children, babies, bundles from the arms of women, and throwing them against walls and throwing them against swords and throwing them into fire. Anyway, I can't watch that, and I'm aware of the things in history that happened to women, to children during warfare. Doesn't mean I have to like it. And that's so, it's hard to quantify or explain why I feel that way, but it's something I've felt for a very long time, is you have to protect at all costs. You have to nurture at all costs. You have to love at all costs those that need the most nurturing, protection, love, the children. And that's informed how I've lived, how I've voted. It's just something I even talking about this, it's like cold pit in my stomach. I cannot. It doesn't compute. It doesn't sit. There's no way it works through my wiring the way that I am. It just doesn't work. And yesterday was May 24th, 2022. And what I thought at first was 14 kids and a teacher turned into, last I counted, last I heard, 19 plus 2 teachers, or 19 plus 2 adults, second, third, and fourth graders at a school in Texas. They're dead. The gunman, who was 18, who I would argue is still pretty much a kid, is also dead. And it just doesn't make sense to me. And Lord knows at this point, I waited, until this morning to redo things because of how everything is. The talking heads are already screaming at each other. The TVs are screaming at each other. Social media is a firestorm. I've been working in education full-time for 7 years now. Technically, if you count the year of full-time subbing, then it's 8 years. And I figured out very early, because it was when I was subbing at one of the local elementary schools near where I live, where I had to stand on this. And it was something that it was right then. It was a right then thing. I didn't anticipate it. I didn't think about it. It didn't cross my mind. And I chalked that up to, because it's such an anathema. It's so impossible that I would even be faced with that in a classroom. But it was, I was subbing for someone at the elementary school near where I live, second grade classroom. And I said last night's version of this was raw, and this is still going to be raw, and this is going to be a little bit emotional, because every time I get to this part of the story, this is the second story, I get emotional. We did drills that day, storm drills, and then the different versions of lockdowns. And the way we ran it, there's two versions. One is close the doors, lock the doors, keep working. The other one is close doors, lock doors, draw blinds, and hide. One is a shelter in place, one is a, call it what it is, active shooter lockdown. There's going to be different terms, but that's that. The principal came over the PA and said, hey, students, this is what we're going to do. Explained it in case we ever needed to, do this. This is what you have to do. Listen to your classroom teacher. So we did it. And afterwards, after the different calls went over the PA and we were all done, we given the all clear. Teachers from the PA. Principal got on and said, hey, teachers, thank you. Students, thank you. If you have any questions, ask your teachers, but this is what we need to practice in case something happens. Kids are incredibly resilient and incredibly intelligent, even at second grade. In kindergarten, first, the resiliency and the intelligence and the observations and the questioning of kids continues to baffle and amaze me. So as soon as, any questions, hands shot up all over the place. And the usual ones like, hey, what do we do if there? What if we're in the hallway? What if we're in the bathroom? And then it got, what happens? Why would we need to do this? Why? Inevitably, it came back to why. Well, in case someone wants to come in and hurt you or do something bad, we have to protect ourselves from it. What if they get to our classroom? Well, the door's locked. That's why we have to hide from them, but we want to make sure that they can't find us. And I'll never forget her face. I don't know her name, which is probably good. She's in high school these days, but second grader raises her hand and says, what happened if they find us? What happens if they find me? And I get emotional because that's exactly how I got when she asked it, because how do you tell a second grader, I'm sorry, sweetie, if they get to you, I'm already gone? How do you tell a kindergartner, I will do everything in my power to make sure that you're safe? And if they get to you, I've done everything I can, including give my life for you. And I'm sorry, because I do get emotional at this, but I've been working for the last couple of weeks in our elementary school here, working on projects for the broadcasting program that I help run. The remarkable educators that I'm working with and the remarkable administrators that I work with, I guarantee not a single one of us went into education saying, I want to protect kids' lives. We always say that because of the what we know about education being the silver bullet, what we know about being able to grow. We always want the kids to grow, not just in test scores or passing classes. We want them to be better. We want them to choose kindness. We want them to be kind to others. And we want them to be better human beings than when they first came into our classroom. That's how it is. Every single educator that I've ever known, from pre-K and littles all the way to credit recovery in high school, every single person doesn't just want a good student, they want a good person. And something's not working. Something's broken right now. And I don't know what it is. And Jesus knows that the pundits, the talking heads, are going to try and figure it out, and they're going to scream louder than each other. But my point maybe with this is twofold. threefold now that I think about it. One, I don't see why it's so against everyone else's wiring, soul, heart, whatever you want to call it, that I have. I rarely say you should be like me, because with this face, Lord knows why would you want to. But the protection of those that are most vulnerable, because they come in all shapes and sizes. It's not just the children, it's not just unborn babies, it's not just minorities, it's not just at-risk populations, it's not just the homeless guy on the street. It's everyone is vulnerable. So why should we not protect everyone as enthusiastically and unreservedly as we can? But especially our children. That's point number one. Point number two I want to make is what an administrator of mine, who I didn't get along with, and I didn't appreciate the way I should have when I worked with them. But they started the day every single day with, and those that know me and know this person will immediately go, yep, because love them or hate them, and I've done both to my dismay, discredit. They started class and the school day every day with, make it a great day, make good choices, and be kind to one another. And I've really latched on to the last one, because that's really where the other two come from. It costs so very little to be kind to one another. And we're not doing it, which leads to my third point. We have to be better. We, the Royal Unified National we have to be doing better. We must be doing better. I'm over it. I can't figure it out. It doesn't make sense. We have to be kinder. We have to be better. That's the message. That's it.